Tuesday night. Happy Tuesday. Tonight I will be your host representing the Let's Unload podcast, okay? Know y'all shocked just to see me, but new things are coming, right? So, welcome to tonight's podcast. So, we are ready to unload it all and put it on the table, right? So, tonight I'm just going to be on here and try to give like a recap of the series we did for the month of May, which was building a firm foundation of your singleness. And we took it back to the basic to start with the groundwork to maintain and develop a healthy and happy singleness, right? So in the first week, we have, hold on, let me take it back because I forgot my girl Sean out here, so I got to do the church announcements, right? So you already know what to do. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel at Journey with Dena. That's Dena. Make sure you hit the notification bell to let you know anytime I go live. Also, we got it also now. Please like and share the videos. Send it to your friend, your mama, your grandmama, everybody who needs to be seeing this video, okay? It don't take nothing but a moment for you to send it out to someone, right? So, I think that's all the church announcements I got, but if I do have some more, I add them at the benediction, okay? So, like I said, I'm doing a recap of the Let's Unload podcast series that we did called Back to the Basics, where we were building a firm foundation in our singleness, right? So, a lot of times we have a habit of, kind of jumping from relationship to relationship without doing the work and building that firm foundation of being single and happy. Like singleness is it's not that bad, y'all. I promise y'all it's not, I got a PhD in singleness right now, okay? But that's all right. So the first week we talked about defining happiness and singleness, right? So we kind of gave you some examples and we talked about some self-improvements that you can do. And the first thing was to not have to seek validation from people. Um, we got to build ourselves up. Even in the Bible, David had to encourage himself. So we have to encourage our own self that, hey, singleness is not bad. Let me get this together so I can be my best self when it's time for me to move on from that singleness category to the relationship category, right? So we want to make sure that we did that foundational work on ourselves and not seeking it from somewhere else, because a lot of times we get into relationships looking to fill a void. You can't do that. You have to give yourself what you need. The only person that can feel that is you and God, right? So let's just practice that more so we can have better relationships, right? So then we had still on happiness and singleness. We talked about being open to love, right? A lot of times people may say, well, nah, I don't want nobody. I'm good single. Now, sometimes that is true. But if that is not true for you, please don't say that because your words are powerful. So if you're saying you're good and you're not good and you want to stay single, guess what? You're going to see what you say. So from this day forward, we're not going to say that if that's not what we desire. If you desire to be in a relationship, if you desire to be married, then speak that. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter how long you have been single. It doesn't matter any of those things. Speak it and you will see it. I promise you that. I don't care how long it takes. Continue to speak it and you will see those things come to pass. No more, no more speaking negative about what you want to see. Okay? That's my FYI for tonight. Then we also talked about on there making sure you are strong enough to actually have a fulfilling relationship, to be at peace with yourself. Because a lot of times, we kind of self-sabotage because we don't feel like we deserve this or we are unworthy of love or relationship. And that's not true. Everybody has a past, everybody has a future. Like they always say, you just have to find that right person that's willing to help you unpack and unload it and move on. It's somebody for everybody, right? So don't be sad. We being happy. We enjoying our happy time. We're building a firm foundation. We've gotten ourselves together. We've got our mind right. This is what we want, Lord. Talk to the Lord. Tell him what it is that you want. I ain't gonna say so much about a list, but to each his own. But God knows what you need, who you need, and when you need it, right? And sometimes we do be a little single longer than we desire. But I have come to the realization that depending on what your purpose is and what God has for you, yeah, you might be single a little bit longer than you want to, but that's because God is perfecting you. He may be still perfecting that person. It's just some things, a lot of things that God has to work out pertaining to, getting to that step. Because I've learned that, marriage is kingdom, right? People look at marriage these days as it's just a marriage and relationship. No, that's not what it's about. It's way more than just a piece of paper. It's way more than having somebody to travel and have a good time with. It's a kingdom assignment from God. You have a purpose, they have a purpose, and when y'all come together, y'all will do a purpose way greater than the both of you because it's bigger than you, right? So God put you together so you can fulfill their purpose. So just make sure that you do the basic work and build a firm foundation in your single and happiness, right? So the next week we talked about redefining your future, right? So redefining your future, we kind of talked about, okay, that I've done the inner work and myself. Um, what does my future look like now? At first, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought I was set on doing this, but since I was single, I started enjoying a little more things, picking up some more craft things, started a little side hustle or changed my business to do something else. So, what does that look like now in my future? How am I going to redefine it? We gave examples of, refreshing your perspective on how do you get to that point. Some steps that you can take and recognizing the power of your purpose, right? Because purpose is in everything. I don't care what kind of job you have, where you work at, there's a purpose for you wherever you are in life, right? So know the value of your time. Like, this is the time to get to know you, to get to be closer with God, to know what it is that He has planned for you. And guess what? If you talk to Him, He will talk back. He will give you signs, and people like, God talk back. Yes, God does talk back, but He is a gentleman. He will not shout and He will not talk over anything. So sometimes you have to be quiet and be still and listen to what He's showing you. Now, when He show you some things, I'm gonna tell you now, it might not come the way you think it's gonna come, right? So you have to be open, keep an open mindset, and just be open to however He does it, because God has His funny way, y'all. He never does it the way you think He gonna do it. He gonna always spin the block on you and come a different way. But He coming, but He gonna come a different way, and it's gonna be a little bit. It's not gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be way better than you had even imagined, right? So we also talked about knowing the value of your time. I think that's what I just said, but use your time wisely every day. Make a plan, make a schedule. Do your short term goals, your long term goals. You know, create some new things, try some different things, some different places. Just be open to different things. You don't never know what you might run into doing something different, right? Get out more, socialize, try new things, new foods, new places, and don't be afraid of change. Come out of your comfort zone, right? This is a new year, new things, so we're gonna come out of our comfort zone. Look at me, I'm here by myself tonight, coming out of my comfort zone, but it's okay because y'all here with me, so we got this. And that's the first thing on my list. It says get uncomfortable, right? Get uncomfortable. In order to grow, you must get uncomfortable, right? Because you in a little box, you got everything boxed off. You ain't uncomfortable. You scared to make a move. Don't be scared. It's gonna either push you, or it's gonna either make you stop and rethink some things. Either way, you're going to learn and grow from it, right? So then we also had like create a different environment, change how you think and how you operate. That's the same thing about being open. Go to some different places. Like I went to like the library for a meeting before. Like that was something very different for me. I don't know if I would like that so much because it was a little too quiet for me. Y'all know I like to talk a whole lot. So I don't know, but it was different. It was a little bit more professional, but it was different for me. But hey, I was open to it. Um, Realize that your growth has no limit to it. Like I can tell myself I have grown in so many ways within this last 2 to 3 years. It's almost scary because I'm a creature of habit. I am a planner and I like to plan and have my stuff together. However, in this 2025, that is not how my life has been, right? I have yielded and surrendered to the master planner, which is God. And I am learning to just go with the flow. And hey, it's going to all work out some kind of way because He knows it from the beginning to the end and everything in between. So just be open to it, right? Um, and it also has, like we said, taking up a new way of life, creating something new, whatever that may be. So my creating something new for redefine your future was I joined this group, right? And it was called Grameen of America. And it's a group of female entrepreneurs, and it's not just in Memphis, y'all. It's like in different cities and states and everything. And it's an amazing group of women. We meet every Monday on Zoom at 9:30 to 10. We talk about your wins. They talk about new business ideas. They help us with grants. They give you all kinds of information doing business. And everybody's available and ready to help. So this was very different for me, but I was open to it. And we actually met last Tuesday, which is why I couldn't do the live. We met last Tuesday in person, and it was an amazing event to get to actually sit down with women that are business owners. I don't really like to say the word bosses, but they are bosses, but some kind of bosses, they come with all that extra attitude and like this, that, and the other. No, I didn't want to say that word. So I'm just gonna say go-getters. Yeah, there was a bunch of go-getters that had different businesses. We talked about it, collaborated, gave each other different advice on things, and it was really amazing because I am a social person. So I wanted to make sure when I joined the group that they got out and mingled, because I don't just want to be on a computer looking at them. I want to actually be in the room, feel their energy and, you know, get some things going. So that was something new for me that I haven't done. I've done it before, but not to this level, and I was the one who leading it. So in this season of my life, I'm enjoying God just added me two groups, and I just get to glean from those groups and learn some stuff, and then take some stuff back to other people that I know that's coming along that way or whatever. So last week we talked about making yourself accessible. So we've done all the work. We've built a firm foundation. We have enjoyed being happy and single. We have redefined our future, what it looks like, what we want to be, what we want to go after, what we want to try. And now we're ready to get out there and, see how it goes. Now, we did talk about don't be scared of rejection, because sometimes rejection is God's protection, right? So you just being open to whatever God sends. And we got to make sure that it's God, okay? Because like I said, baby, you go back to talk to God, He going to tell you yay or nay. But you got to have an ear to hear. So we pray that you have, good discernment so the Lord can tell you, not there right there. Keep going. Keep going. You going in the right direction, but keep going now, speak to him and go on about your business. But the right one coming at the right time. So just be open. Make sure you smile. You look friendly. Make sure you look like you want to be approached. You don't have like a on yourself and you're unaware of it, because that can happen a lot where that does that, right? So we're just open and we're ready to see what God has in store. And don't be discouraged if it takes a little more time. I cannot stress that enough, because we get in our feelings a lot because things don't happen when we think or how we think. But God knows what's best and the best timing, right? So just because you made yourself accessible doesn't mean that, oh, okay, now, it's time. Still might not be time yet, because guess what? The person that God has for you, they may not have gotten to the point that you are yet. So guess what? God's still working on them. So a blessing given too soon is a burden, right? So we don't want nothing that God ain't done with. So just continue to walk the walk. Continue to ask for guidance and wisdom in this life as we make ourselves accessible and not just open, right? Still have your standards, still have your goals. Be firm with your standards and your goals, okay? We ain't gonna take just anything because now we done did the work and we ready. We don't want to tear down all the stuff that we done did by letting the wrong person come and get into your space. Take your time, enjoy the journey, enjoy if whatever you're going out, go out to places with your girls, your friends, your guys. Go by yourself. It's summertime. It's some nice things out to do. Just be open and just be ready if it hits you. Because if it hits you, because when God says time, guess what? It's time. Can't nothing or nobody stop it. So I just wanted to come on and share the recap with you all. And thank you all for coming on and watching the recap. Hi, Angela. How are you? Um, this has been a great series that we have done with the Back to the Basics, building the firm foundation. Because, like I said, I was watching a video and the lady was talking about that singleness is a piece of cake. And so when I started listening to it, it was like God was trying to say, okay, y'all have done relationships and friendships and marriages and stuff, but let's go back to the basics. Let's make ourselves whole and happy before we get into a relationship or friendship, right? Because that's what God wants for us to do, is to enjoy our singleness, do what needs to be done on ourselves, and then we won't look for other people to fulfill their void, or we won't get to a place where we say, dang, I wish I would have traveled more when I was single, because now I done got married and I got kids and I can't just move like I want to move. So let's enjoy the time and make it count while you are single and happy in your single. I cannot stress that enough. You have to be happy with yourself because nobody else can make you happy, right? And this goes all the way around the board, man or woman. Heal from your past wounds. So you want sabotage what God sends. Because when you praying and asking God to send you, whether you asking for a husband or a wife, that partnership, you gotta be ready for it. You gotta be ready for what you're asking for. Because if you're not ready, you're not going to be able to maintain it. So we want to do all the work necessary so that we are able to maintain it. And we can say, wow, this was worth the work that I put into it. So now the sky's the limit. So I'm not going to hold y'all tonight. I made it short and sweet for y'all, and I was going to keep it in my 20 minutes. But I hope that you are enjoying and have enjoyed the Let's Unload podcast, right? If you have not watched all the rest of the videos that we made on this series, you're doing yourself not good, not good, right? So you have time, because we will be out the rest of the week, because we will meet this week to come together and see what's next for the Let's Unload podcast. If you have any suggestions, any topics that you want to talk about, feel free to drop them in the comments, right? We'll go back and check them. We'll talk about it, pray about it, whatever God gives us, however he leads us is the way we're going to go, right? So thank you again for watching with me tonight. Share and reshare. put in there if you're watching the replay, and leave me a comment. Tell me how y'all think I did by myself over here. So when my co-host Sean watches the podcast, she'll give me a grade, right? So until next time, enjoy your night.